Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new around here. Please excuse the state and the sound of me. I literally got back from my 2.5 week trip to Vietnam literally last night. It was UK time 10:30 in the evening, but Vietnam it was like 4:30, and that was what my body clock was still used to, so it was a late one. But I wanted to film this unpack with me video before I left it too long and I started unpacking stuff, because I use a lot of unpacking videos before my trip to Vietnam. And so next I'm going to move on to toiletries. Now I've got them in a couple of different bags. So I've got this little bag which I can take on my hand luggage, so I can have all the stuff that I needed on the flight. And I did pack extra like emergency stuff in case my bag got lost and I needed a couple extra things. So this is a great size. I just get this off Amazon. And then I got one of those like washing bags that you can basically hang, which I did find really handy. It was really helpful to be able to hang them in the hostels. I've heard mixed things about this, saying you don't need it, you can't hang them in a lot of hostels, or people saying like, yeah, they're amazing. You can hang them in most hostels, but at the very least it's waterproof. So when you go into your shower, you can take your phone with you and your key with you and have it in the shower with you, so you know it's safe, and it's in a waterproof bag. So I did very much appreciate this, but also at the same time, it was very big and bulky and it takes up like half of this bag by itself when there's loads of like empty space. I feel like I could have just done it in like smaller bags, sort of like this size, and just split it into shower stuff, makeup, like daily moisturizers and creams, and like first aid stuff or something, because these would take up much less individually. I took a roll-on deodorant. I feel like roll-on lasts a little bit longer. However, I don't know if my skin was reacting to this and didn't like it, because it's all like red. I don't know if it still is, but it was red all the way around here. Really sore, really dry and flaky. I wasn't sure if that's a reaction to heat rash, because I've got a heat rash here as well when my bra rubbed. Not sure on that one. So daily moisturizer, I highly recommend getting something that has SPF in it. This is a very popular one at the moment. This is just the plain one. You can also get a glow, which I will be looking for getting, but 50 SPF in your daily moisturizer to protect your skin from the sun. And speaking of SPF, a lip balm with SPF as well. I will put this on every single day. You don't want sunburn on your lips. Yes, it's a thing. I haven't had it, but I don't think it's going to be a good thing. Toothbrush with a little protector on it. Obviously hand gel. They do sell hand gel out there. It's just not as easy to find. Got some eye cream, some hydrating moisturizer, and then a bit of coconut oil, body lotion, which is really good for when I got that dry skin. Don't forget your tweezers if you're going to be out there for a while. And I have some nail clippers as well. I don't know where my nail clippers are, but nail clippers. If you're going more than, I'd say, probably 2 weeks, you're going to want tweezers and nail clippers. Like, if you have a look at my nails, I got these nails done on like the second day I was out there, and look how much they have grown. I didn't know my nails grew that quickly. Hair ties, you can't have enough hair ties. Regards to makeup, I took a BB cream. So it's a bit more lightweight. The one I was using ran out. This is the new one. Didn't actually end up using it. And then I've got a concealer and a mascara. I don't do anything on my eyebrows, so I didn't need anything else. A little travel perfume. I got 2 of these. I had a backup. Got a bit of after sun. I did get sunburn, particularly on the last day, but also when I was in Sapa hiking. Definitely bring some after sun with you. I didn't ever see any out there. And this is just a little pot for going in this bag for my little moisturizer, and then some makeup wipes as well. I do also recommend maybe taking out a handful of electrolytes with you. I didn't come across any whilst I was out there, but I never was looking for any, but I'm pretty sure you can buy more electrolytes whilst you're out there. I use these all the time. These were perfect for just helping to rehydrate me, because when I was on long travel journeys, I always have to pee. So I try to avoid drinking. So by the time we got to our, like, accommodation, I was so dehydrated. I'd like, you know, just tip one of these in my water bottle, and it would sort me out, just to help give me that bit of the boost that I've you know, missed out on during the day. Here is just a bit of an overflow from this. Now, Savlon was really handy to have. I didn't use much from my first aid kit, but Savlon I did use. I got cuts all over me from the rice leaves, like the rice terraces and sapper. And I also cut the bottom of my foot on some coral in Halong Bay. And I put this on and it healed up beautifully. I was quite worried about getting any infection, especially with something being on my foot. I took plasters out with me. Handy to have. Bit of arnica cream. The amount of bruises I had all over me, and I don't know where they came from, it's a bit ridiculous. But arnica cream and Savlon 100% recommend taking out with you. My mum also gave me some citronella essential oils to help with the mosquitoes. I took mosquito bands, which I'll get to, but I felt like once they ran out of their scent, I could just top it up with this, so I didn't have to keep throwing the bands away. And then of course paracetamol, ibuprofen, all those fun things. So I've got some wind settlers because I struggle with IBS, but also when we're flying, I think with the changes of pressure and everything like that, my stomach gets just filled with gas and air, and that just helps sort it right out. The spare deodorant I took with me, which I didn't actually end up using, but I wish I did try it a little bit more, but I'll take that out with me when I go back out there, probably instead of the roll-on one. This one smells really, really nice. Got a razor. I did bring talcum powder. I thought it would be a good idea to just like dab on the talcum powder when I was sweating. But I'm sweating when I'm out and about, and I didn't take this out and about with me, so I didn't really use it. So medication wise, other than ibuprofen and paracetamol, I also took some motion sickness. These were ginger tablets. I did also end up buying some out there, and I didn't actually end up using them, and I don't know where I even put them, to be honest. These were great for the sleeper buses. I recommend sleeping on the bottom level if you can, and taking one of these an half an hour before you go out. And also I got wristbands as well to go on my wrists, like have little divots that go in the pressure points. They really, really helped, because the sleeper buses were not the funnest, not gonna lie. And I've got some more like rehydration treatment sachets. Didn't use those because I had the other electrolytes, but I shall be keeping those for next time. I did take out a bronzer and highlighter. I used that like once on one of the days we were going out, trying to make myself feel a little bit nicer. I feel like if you've got a compact one and you want to take something like this, then I take it. I'd probably take that again with me. Packet of tissues, I've got a load of these, and I never really use that many of them because hostels have toilet roll. Some restaurants, if they're a bit nicer, have toilet roll. They might run out of it quite quickly. Some like cafes, like the Note Cafe, didn't. Well, it had a bit of toilet roll, but it ran out very, very quickly. So what I recommend doing is just taking a couple packs of tissues out with you, but you can always like take a load from the hostel before you go out. What I used to do was take enough that would hopefully last me like a couple times during the day. But then if I found a toilet that had toilet roll, I'd use some of their toilet roll, and then I'd take another lot for the next time I was going to wee. I had some toilet roll already. But the restrooms or the rest stops when you're travelling by bus, no toilet roll, not a chance. If it's a nice one, then sometimes they do. We've got antiseptic wipes. I use that to clean my foot, and then some blister packs. I didn't get any blisters, so make sure you choose your shoes accordingly and properly so you don't have that issue. And then to like my face and body and showering, night cream, spot cream, a sun cream that's 50 SPF. This was a little mini one. It lasted me fine for 2.5 weeks. If you're going for longer, take more. Mosquito spray. This one worked okay. I've got a whole new one that I never ended up using. However, I have an idea of what to do with this when I've finished using all the mozzie sprays. Actually just fill it with water and use it to just spray myself. Because I found the mozzie spray was quite refreshing when you sprayed it, so I'm wondering whether this might be like a good hack for filling it with just water and spraying it to cool you down, because oh my god, it was hot. So, nail clippers, they're handy to have, and another mini perfume. I then have my primer for the very few times I wore makeup, And then with regards to the like toiletries and shower gels, I brought them in like little like mini like silicone bottles so that I could like reduce them down in size, which was great. I just about brought enough to last me 2 weeks. Lots of hostels do have toiletries and stuff. Some will have shampoo, none will have conditioner, but they might also have shower gel as well. So I'd recommend, unless you're very specific on what you use and the skin's quite sensitive, I would just use what they offer so you don't use too much of your own stuff. But again, you can get these off Amazon. They'll be in my storefront. That is linked in my bio. I've just brought 2 makeup brushes with me, so for my BB cream and then for any powders. And they didn't take up too much space at all. And then I've got a couple of souvenirs here actually. So this is another item from that Tired City. Tote bag, really cute, nice and sturdy, and it's got a little popper on it as well. I did already have a tote bag to go out with, but I do recommend taking a tote bag or buying a tote bag out there. They're super duper handy. Being shopping, going to the beach, going to the pool, just shove everything in there, bish bash bosh. A Tupperware. Now I know that a lot of people said like you'll buy food local, you won't make food, you don't need a Tupperware. I thought I'm probably not going to be able to eat all of the food that they cook me, so I'll take a Tupperware to take it away in, basically. 2 issues with that is, one, there's nowhere to wash it once you've put food in there. The only way you're going to wash it is in your hostel bathroom. There's no washing up liquid. And 2, the food isn't going to keep very well because it's obviously so hot. You're not going to be able to put it in a fridge because hostels don't have kitchens because nobody cooks for themselves in Southeast Asia. Yeah, I was thinking, oh, it doesn't take up that much space, it'll be fine. Don't need it. Don't recommend taking a Tupperware at all. It's basically, if you do take any food away, you need to eat it pretty much within a few hours, and then you've got to clean it somehow. There is no way of cleaning it. Tote bag I did take out with me, and I did use a waterproof cover for my bag, and waterproof cover for every one of your bags. I've linked these on my Amazon storefront again as well. Now I brought a sleeping bag liner just in case the beds were really gross that I slept on. Now the hostels that I stayed in were absolutely fine, didn't need this. However, I might still take it with me next time I go travelling just in case. It doesn't take up that much room, so I think it's worth it because you never know, you might end up staying in a proper gross place. A very, very, very small microfiber towel which my mum gave me, never used it. And then we've got like a smallish microfiber towel, I guess like a hand drying towel. Never used it, never left my bag. I literally only use the odd hostel provided a towel, otherwise I just use my like big towel. I would recommend taking a very, very large towel, like a beach towel, and then a smaller towel like this is just like body towel. This is like a medium sized one, so my plan going forward is keep this and get a bigger one as well. I also brought a travel washing line, so it looks like this and opens up like that. I didn't use it because I was in hostels the whole time. There was like 8 of us in a room each time and it was just a bit like crowded and cramped. I think if I was travelling like longer and I wasn't staying in hostels so much, then a travel like washing line would be perfect, especially if you've got a bit of like outdoor space or even a room that you've got aircon that will blow on your clothes, because the problem is with Southeast Asia it's so humid that stuff doesn't dry, so maybe actually not putting your stuff outside, putting your stuff inside with aircon will really, really help. Then I've got another little like waterproof pouch, and I've got a full-on like dry bag. This was just gonna be like a little one to put valuables in, I thought, when I'm kayaking and things like that, but I actually ended up using the 5 litre one. I would actually recommend getting bigger than a 5 litre because a 5 litre didn't hold too much. I could put my water, a change of clothes, a towel, my phone, my purse, sunglasses, water bottle, did I say, in here, but then it was literally full. So I'd recommend a 10 litre one. I think that would be a good size, but 5 litre, it did the job, it just wasn't big enough. Travel cutlery, because I heard that you get given chopsticks predominantly over cutlery, which is true. However, I mastered how to use the chopsticks. I say mastered loosely. I can use them just about. Having cutlery was handy, but it never left this bag, so it was never an option anyway. But a lot of places do have cutlery for you. If it's a local place, then it will only be chopsticks. But I think it is totally worth using chopsticks and just trying to learn how to use them. So yeah, got a Shiwi. Not touched, not used it. I think it really depends on the situation. Like, I bought it in case I had to like pee on the side of the road or something. But it never came to that. I might as well keep it with me when I go long-term travelling, because it literally takes up like no space, but you don't really need it. The toilets were fine. Squat toilets are actually cleaner than like Western like toilets, like normal toilets. I only ever saw one squat toilet in the whole of the 2.5 weeks. I've seen more squat toilets in Europe than I have in Asia, which has surprised me, because we stopped at some very, very local rest stops that were not very nice, but still had like normal Western toilets. I was quite surprised. Then we've got some GoPro bits. I've got my waterproof like floaty grip, which is perfect if you're going in the water, and you can adjust this strap to fit it on your wrist so it doesn't come off. I used this when we did any of the water activities. It was perfect because if you did drop it, it floated in the water. And I also have a dive cave, which actually the GoPro is waterproof, so I didn't necessarily need it, but I'm so worried about getting it wrecked. I got this, however you can't really hear the audio through it properly, so unless you're diving you don't necessarily need this. And I did take a tripod because, you know, content creator, but I was with people all the time. It was a pretty full-on trip. I didn't need it, however I will take it with me when I go long-term traveling. But if you're not a content creator or you're not traveling solo, you don't need a tripod. Don't worry about carrying that around with you. We did a cooking class in Hoi An, and they gave us a grater as a souvenir, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, it's hard to describe how to use it now, but it's how you can make all the fillings for like duck pancakes. And I've got my folder at the bottom of my bag with all my documents for my flights printed out. This was a spare one. I have two. Didn't need to get this one, but I do recommend having a folder full of your documents printed out before you leave. Obviously when you're out there it's a bit different if you're booking more flights, accommodations, blah blah blah, but I'd recommend having your flight out there, or anything that you've got booked, your travel insurance, your phone insurance, any gadget insurance, your flights that you're going out, and maybe your first lot of accommodations, so you know where you're going in case you don't have internet with you. Get in a side pocket, more tissues, didn't need them. Hair tie, didn't use it. The charger to my camera, which I'll get into in a minute, I didn't need that. More locks and a personal alarm, didn't need that. And a little sewing kit with a nail file, did need that. And then finally, a little pouch here. Lots of these plastic resealable bags, really handy to have if you've got anything wet. I took loads with me, didn't use that many, but I do recommend when you get deliveries and you get them in resealable bags, keep a couple of them. Really handy to have. Little head bandana, this was cute to look a little bit different, style myself a little differently than a sun cap. I wore this in bin. Felt cute, a bit different. Waterproof pouch for your phone. I do recommend taking one of these. I had my phone in a waterproof and shockproof case the whole time, didn't need this, but one of the other girls, I did lend it to her because she didn't have one, so I do recommend having one. Lanyard, again, the lanyard that the case, let me get my case. So I took a waterproof and shockproof case. My phone did not leave it, and then I also attached this wrist strap with an adjustable strap on it, so it meant that I could have it on my wrist. And I could attach it to my wrist so that no one could pull it off and it wouldn't fall off. So I strongly recommend getting a waterproof and shockproof case, because I dropped my phone quite a few times and I was around water a lot, and my phone did get quite wet. And when it rains, protect your phone. Now, either have a wrist lanyard or a lanyard to tie it onto you, just because of thieves and like people on bikes driving by and just whipping it out of your hand. Handy to have. So this is my little 15-litre day bag. This is my Uniqlo bum bag that I originally, well, it's not the Uniqlo, it's the Amazon version, but it's the original bag that I took with me and was like, nah, it's not big enough. So, I've got some souvenirs in here. So these are my chopsticks. They were 200,000 Vietnamese dong, which I believe was £7 for two. And I got the ones with ducks because it's a little reminder of when we went to the duck stop in Phong Nha. A raincoat. You will want a raincoat that packs down. You can buy them out there. You can buy ponchos out there. Really depends if you're that fussed about having them before you go out. A waterproof cover for your bag. Definitely get one for each bag that you've got. More reusable bags. These fold down to almost nothing, so I took a couple with me. They're really, really handy to have, so I do recommend. I also recommend having a couple of carabiners. I did have one on this bag. I took it off because on the flight out to Hanoi, I had one on here. Wasn't there when I got to Vietnam. I don't know why. So I took them off the outside of my checked bags in case someone just steals them. But I have one on this bag, and I hung like my hat on there. So really, really handy to have a couple of these. You just get them off Amazon. They're probably linked in my storefront, I believe. And then finally we have this bag, which was my personal item. So it is full of like my valuables and electronics and things like that. So this is the case of my GoPro, which I'm recording on, which I'm glad that I took with me. I could record for any water activities. And I was able to record any like vlogs that I was doing. So keep an eye out for a couple of vlogs. And it's got snacks. These choco pies are basically like a cake, like a sponge cake with marshmallow in them, covered in chocolate. Really nice. I do rate those. I got quite a few. I bought them in the airport for snacks on the journey home because it was a 12-hour flight. And then it was like 2.5 hours waiting at the airport for my coach, and then a 2-hour coach back, so I didn't know how hungry I might get, and I'm a cereal snacker. Oh, back to clothes for a second. Literally everything needs a wash. But I bought this black linen skirt, again in the same place I got the black linen shirt, but on a different day. I bought this first. My priority was linen trousers. Didn't get any linen trousers. This was on my list, and so was the t-shirt and the linen shirt, but lower than the linen trousers, but it's fine. I wore this a couple of times on the evenings out. Really, really nice. This was £15, I think. More clothes, actually. I took a pair of like waterproof trousers. It's too hot and muggy to wear things like this, so if it was cooler, they'd be of use. But I wouldn't recommend taking any at all, really, to be honest. Travel adapter is an absolute essential. So in Vietnam, they use the European, so the 2 prong pins. And I recommend getting one that's got like USB plugs, so you don't need an actual plug in here, because if you do, you're often only going to be able to charge one thing at a time. So get one with USB ports. Next up we have my DSLR camera, which I was quite excited to take with me to take some amazing photos. However, because it was a very, very not rushed, but it was a very quick trip and I was with other people, I couldn't do things at my own time, on my own pace. So I brought my decent lens and my old DSLR camera. I used it once, I want to say. The cities are so packed and busy that unless you go out really, really early, you're not going to get any decent photos because there's just going to be people crowded in them. And I'm not sure how safe I'd feel carrying these around. I used it in Halong Bay only because I was like, I've brought it, I've lugged it all the way, I need to use it. I didn't even take it to Sapa with me because we only were taking a little bag for overnight, and this bag is tiny. I could only just about fit all the essentials that I needed for a night stay. My camera wasn't going to fit in there. So unless you are into photography or content creation and these are essential for you, I wouldn't take a big bulky camera. You're lugging it around a lot. I would just take a compact camera if you really need a camera. And then I did also take my tablet. I was planning to do a little bit of work out there. I did use it to transfer the footage from my GoPro onto my tablet, so I didn't need to take so many memory cards. So I'm glad that I took it with me. But again, unless you're working from a tablet, or you know you're going to use it, say what you want to watch Netflix or something like that, I wouldn't bring one. I definitely wouldn't bring a laptop unless you definitely need it for work. But yeah, tablet is kind of hit and miss really. Quickly back to toiletries. I've got like a little travel brush. This was really handy. I think it was just from Boots, nice and cheap. And then a compact mirror with a light that lights up. So a lot of hostel rooms did not have mirrors. They didn't even have a bathroom or like a sink with a mirror in some of them. So having your own is really handy, especially one with a light on it. I really recommend this. I love this. A shit ton of tissues, literally just everywhere. Literally like, tell me about packing Southeast Asia without telling me you're backpacking Southeast Asia. I took my old Huawei phone with me as a spare phone, and what I did is I backed up like all the apps that I was going to need. So like the Grab app, accommodation apps, things like that. So this phone would basically be ready to use if I needed to whilst I was out there. It wouldn't be connected to the internet. So if I was out and about and lost my phone, I'd be a bit screwed. But if I was we managed to get back to like the accommodation, I could get on Wi-Fi and sort things out on the phone. So take a spare phone with you. You never know when you might need it. And then for more electronics, I took like a little electronic organizer. It doesn't all fit in here like securely. It moves around a lot, but it works. So if you've got a lot of cables, if you're like a content creator or a digital nomad, take some kind of organizer. I've got my external hard drive and like my adapter for my tablet for my external hard drive, an adapter for a memory card from my big camera because it uses the really old big ones, charging cables, spare charging cables, batteries for my camera, and then I got a documents folder with the rest of the like documents. So my passport was going in here. I've got a little tracker from Trace, which is a bit cheaper than the AirTag, and you can change the battery in these as well, whereas with the AirTag you cannot. So I've got all my boarding passes, which I will keep for my scrapbook, and then I've got a load of like travel cards. I'm not going to show them because my details are on there. I took out a Monzo, which I didn't actually use but I did use online, Starling, and HSBC Global Money. I took my credit card out there, which I didn't need, but just in case I needed to make a large purchase. Not that I even know the PIN for it. I took out my debit card as well as an emergency. So just in case, make sure you take out multiple cards with you. Got a power bank, more tissues, pens are handy to have, a book. I was going to journal in this, but I didn't. I'm not a journaler, so maybe when I go long term I will. I might use it as like a scrapbook actually, get a journal that I can scrapbook at the time. And for my bum bag, we've got important stuff here. So I've got my passport and a purse with money. I bought this in Sapa. I have that in my very back pouch, keep it nice and safe. Got wireless headphones, which were very, very handy to have if my phone was charging. I could use wireless headphones. Eye mask, essential for hostels, transport when you are on buses, things like that, if you want to sleep. Another purse. Medication, a ginormous power bank, 100% recommend. This one's really good because it's got like the cables in it already. And I like this when I'm out and about in the day because it's lightweight, to chuck it in, really good. And then this one is great if I'm, say, like away for the night or on a really long journey and need something that's just going to last a little bit longer. This will last for at least 4 charges, if not longer. I'll link them all in my Amazon storefront. Snacks, a fan. A fan will be your best friend in Southeast Asia. It took me a couple days, quite a few days. It wasn't until I went to Ninh, so probably like 4 or 5 days in before I bought this fan at a rest stop. It was the best purchase of the trip. Loads of tissues, throat lozenges because I got sick and I am still sick. Wired headphones because I needed these for recording any audio when I was like speaking to my phone, because my microphone is like blocked off by the phone case, so the audio didn't really work. Travel wipes, really handy to have. I didn't use them as much as I thought I would, or thought I probably should use them a little bit more, just kind of like wipe the sweat off. Earplugs, also perfect for hostels, long journeys when you want to sleep. I took a face mask with me. No one wears face masks out there anymore, not in Vietnam anyway. And a personal alarm, didn't really need that. And these are the wristbands that I use for motion sickness. So I stick them on my wrist, and then that bit goes into like the pressure point. I find that they work quite well. And then I've got a bottle cap from the train street in Hanoi as a little souvenir. And then speaking of souvenirs, I've got a load here. And I've also got my hat. So I'm very happy to say that my hat survived the journey back. Now I'm probably gonna like hang this on my wall. I'm not gonna obviously wear it, because when on earth am I gonna wear this hat? So I think it was like £7. And I got it whilst I was in Hoi An at my last place, because I didn't want to have to lug this around and risk getting it damaged. And then I also have the lantern that I made. Well, see, it's not this shape, it pops out. I'm gonna try and pop it back out, but I'm not gonna do it now. I want to do a video on it. So fingers crossed it is intact, but you can make lanterns in. So I got a photo of me on my bike in Ninh Bình. The lady came up to me and I was like, oh, like, no thank you, I don't actually like want that photo. But then she came back again, everyone's like, oh, it's literally only $1. So I was like, okay, cool, $1, I'll get it. So yay. And then I got a magnet at a rest stop, just a bit generic of Vietnam, and a postcard in Hoi An. And then I've got a couple more postcards when I was in the Women's Museum in Hanoi. So we've got Ha Long Bay, Sapa, just Vietnam in general. I don't know if that is potentially Ninh Bình. And then Train Street in Hanoi, which is such a cool place to visit. These were, I think, 10,000 Vietnamese dong each, which was like 30p. And I got a few more souvenirs. So I got a 3D magnet, because I love my 3D magnets. This was 100,000 Vietnamese dong. Can't remember, I don't know what that is in conversions. She must have checked in a free magnet, because I did not get that. And then this cute little plate as well. It's like a coaster. And it says Hanoi on it, but I get it in Hoi An. Very, very cute. Oh, and finally, I took my turtleneck pillow with me. I nearly forgot about that. I am not one for being able to sleep on public transport, and I'm still not one for sleeping on public transport. However, I did get more sleep with this than I ever have done with anything else. So I do quite rate it. I feel like, because it keeps your neck in like a bit more of an upright position. So it's just a bit more comfier to sleep with. Now, I am doing a paid ad with them for this. However, the fact that I managed to get much more sleep than I ever have done with anything else, I think it's really, really good. Really, really good. So this is the turtle neck pillow. If you are interested in having a look, I will leave a link for them down below if you're interested. And I believe that's pretty much everything. This is probably a really, really long video, so I hope you enjoyed. I hope this has helped you with planning your trip to Vietnam and potentially Southeast Asia as well. If you have any questions about packing, anything else relating to Vietnam, so food, transport, what to do, where to go, then leave them down in the comments. I do recommend that you go over to my Instagram and TikTok, Postcards from Rachel, to get more travel tips, because I will be posting loads over there. And I will see you guys in the next one.